Okay, just 7 o'clock, we can call the meeting in order. First thing is pledge of allegiance, remain standing for a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America,
Republic,
and the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God,
indivisible,
indivisible.
liberty and justice for all.
Thanks, everybody. Okay, first thing is approval of the agendas, additions. Anybody? Time to look at it. I have one thing that should probably come underneath maybe city clerk is 100 days committee check that was given to the city on May 11th. Discuss that. Anybody else with anything? If not, might somebody make a motion to approve?
We'll move.
From the second,
Second that.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed,
Aye.
motion carried. Approval of the minutes and the bills from May 9th meeting. Additions, corrections to the minutes. I see it was revised. Was there a spot in here that was revised that we should look at?
It was, I just had special council meeting instead of regular council meeting. On that first page there, first page, first line, said special council meeting, should have been a regular council meeting.
Okay.
And on the bills, Rob, I was asking you about clarification on that county portion of the tree. There was a cost share over $1,000. I don't know what that means. They're paying 1,000 for cost sharing over 1,000. I didn't know what that meant. And how we should go.
Well, what was it last week? Or last time I thought I understood it.
I think we did when he talked about it.
On the bills, I have a question here. Everything in red, is that for the fire department?
Yes,
So it said Minnesota Waste Processing for 1235.
oh, that's supposed to be in black.
Okay, there wasn't nothing there. And then on
You have a
fine,
Revised copy of the bills too.
pardon?
There's a revised copy of the bills
Right.
was in your pile. The Minnesota waste is still in red, but it should be in black. Copy just because Kennedy's said April and it was supposed to be May.
And down here on bottom under Rickway Carpet, it says fine well, there's no amount. There's no amount on
Oh, there's
this one either.
Thinewell, we must have not have had one for them. It just needs to be removed from there.
Quality flow, that would have been for that new, everything that went in that one lift area down there in Lagoon, right? I believe.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. All right, anybody else with questions on the bills? If not, somebody make a motion to, who's J and M Plumbing?
Jeremy and Melissa Saylor. They replaced the toilet in the city park bathroom.
Up there?
Jake called them. It must have broke over the winter. I'm not sure.
Just one toilet
Yes,
for $425?
yes.
Is it gold?
I think.
It is not gold.
On everything.
All that have to do with the plumbing?
I believe so,
There was
yeah.
a broken water line or something too.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right. If nobody else has any questions, somebody make a motion to approve the minutes, bills.
Make a motion to approve the bills.
Someone second,
Second.
all in favor?
I-
I oppose.
Aye.
Motion carried. Oh, I got you, Sarah.
Okay,
Good Thunder Fire Department, no report,
No report from them or the police.
or the police, yep. So down to city maintenance, new hire, meeting on 6/17 at 3:30.
Robert, you're the only one besides Mike that I've heard back from. So that's why there's a question mark to it, because I have not heard back from anybody else.
Does that work for
I said I'll be gone on Friday.
you guys, or?
I don't know.
You don't know until he's done working.
Yeah.
is there a possibility for a Thursday meeting for that? And we can do it a little later?
He did have a Thursday, I believe, available. I can find out what time.
Is it this Thursday or next Thursday?
This Thursday.
This Thursday.
That was one of the dates he gave
Does
us.
it work better for you, Tom, like at
Same
5?
time or is there a different time?
5, it should be better.
It doesn't work for Mike. He said that's a little too late for him. He didn't want to start that late.
5:30 would be better, actually.
I know, because then you are done working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never know.
But he don't want to be here that late?
Yeah, he said starting that late is a little late for him.
Tell them to sleep in the morning.
We could, the job posting could go out as it was. So you could at least start to get some interest and then schedule a meeting with Mike. to go
I think we
over that.
just kind of want to run it through it with him to see, make sure we're all informed.
Well, it's this, I mean, it's the same thing he ran through last time, so everything would just go to him again. But I know there was.
I feel like we did a lot of changes the last time. It might be okay to just post it. I don't know.
I got a question. What title are we gonna give this job this time? Are we gonna give it maintenance, street maintenance, maintenance supervisor? Or whatever the other one was? I mean, do we have to define that before we post this meeting? That if you're putting in an individual in a supervisory position, that we have to advertise it at that?
The last one was advertised as a maintenance worker.
Okay,
I feel like it should be maintenance supervisor because there's people, you know, he'll have people, he or she will have people under him,
yeah, because
you know?
in reality, when we had somebody, Bob worked under that individual. Right?
Yep.
To get the lawn mowed and,
Right.
so,
Contractors, yeah, Bolton, you know, boning and whatever.
Right.
yeah, so I mean, do we just have to make note of that when we meet with Mike, that it needs to be
Well, it
supervisor?
should be, because that way, like say, you calling the contractor, by all rights, the way it goes now, we gotta have a meeting to do it.
Hmm.
And if he's a supervisor, he's got the authority, him or her has the authority to do it. Right? I mean,
Mhm.
that's,
I agree.
I'm wrong, but I mean, that's just the way I take it, you know, that you're the boss over, you know, the street, water and sewer and stuff.
At the last meeting, were we gonna have Mike kind of get going on it and list it as the same thing as it was, or he
You
waiting?
just had me to set a meeting with him. So I have all the stuff here. We could all just list it on the same spots as we did last time. We can change it to maintenance supervisor instead of maintenance worker and then just put it out there. And then I can just email Mike and say, hey, we put it here, here and here. Here's all of the definitions and just get it to him and when we start rolling in, then we'd have more maybe to meet with him with.
Is it important we get moving on this to fill that position?
I think so.
I mean, you're gonna have to almost put in there, it has to come with a CDL.
Right,
This time.
we even said that, I think.
Yeah, but I mean, we have to
Right.
specify that.
Yep.
Yeah, he'll just kick the application out if they don't have a CDL.
Yeah,
Yeah, because I think in the last thing it said CDL within 90 days. So we crossed out the within 90 days that you had to have your CDL because now you have to go to trucker school or.
no, you have to come with a CDL.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gotta be in there, because otherwise, they say it's gonna cost a fortune, I guess.
That only has to be a
We might
class
have-
B, right?
Right,
Pardon me?
That only has to be a class B, right?
Correct.
With air.
Yep,
Yep.
there. And then when you post it like on Indeed, you can put like CDL and that's a deal breaker. If you don't have it, obviously your application will get kicked out.
Yep,
It gives you the option to do that. So
because we're not gonna pay for somebody to obtain them and, you know, be.
not at this time anyway, no.
All right, so a time with Mike.
You could still tell them though, I mean, if we got an exceptional guy that doesn't have a license.
But-
You know,
We don't know how long it would.
I don't think
Individuals.
I don't think that flies.
okay, that's
I
fine.
don't, I just don't think that flies.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
It'll
I
be
mean,
thrown up on our faces later.
Right, yeah,
No, I think it's got to come with a class B CDL with the air brake into it.
Yep.
yeah.
And we'll just have,
That way.
we probably should get it posted because it's gonna take a while possibly to get one. I don't know. I think there's a lot of people that want to work for a city for obvious reasons. You know, so.
well, and I think you guys discussed 25 to 30 for range. And then I think the insurance thing was kind of up for discussion, but that could be maybe an interview discussion, because maybe if they don't need insurance, you pay them 30. If they
That
need
was
insurance,
the
you pay
big
a little.
question we were gonna have for Mike.
Yeah,
We wanted to get his input on that,
Yep.
you know, before we post it.
Yeah.
Because once you post it, I mean,
Hard to change it then.
how do you change it then?
Yeah. Would you ever post it with benefits? You haven't explained them.
Yeah, but they're gonna call,
Yeah.
you know, what I mean, somebody's gonna have to answer that question before, potentially before we get an answer.
And even some of the things we talked about, you know, the PTO and moving that around, we have to make sure we do that resolution. So that's done. It won't take not to do it, but we
Yep.
can do it.
I think if we posted it though with the, how we had it last time, the single payer insurance. And then if you guys decide to go to full family later, maybe that's a discussion during the meeting with Mike or with the potential applicant.
But can we do that?
I think you could state that the insurance is negotiable,
Negotiable,
huh? I mean,
negotiable, yeah.
Well, really, the salary is negotiable then,
right, I mean, it all kind of,
right?
right, yeah, yep,
It all counts the salary.
yeah.
But the thing is, though, if these people start, I mean, you post this and somebody sees it and wants to ask you a question on Thursday, you
Mhm.
don't have an answer.
Yeah.
How are you gonna answer that question if we?
And we
post it?
won't without
Well, you
talking to
can
Mike.
fill it, like you said, with a single full.
Full coverage like we've had, because we don't know if they come with the wife's insurance
Or the husbands or whatever, you know, the spouse might have full family and they don't need that. And we don't know what it's gonna cost.
You busy Thursday?
Pardon?
You busy Thursday?
No, I
You
can.
got a load of me or
No, I'm good this week.
should we have it Thursday with Mike
See what time you can do.
before it goes out, 3:30?
It just,
That
yeah,
work?
just set it up. Then
Yeah.
Sarah can be here and if I'm not here, I'm here.
Yeah, okay, so we'll have 4 of us here. It work, Sarah?
You
Okay.
bet I could be there.
This Thursday at what time?
3:30.
3:30?
3:30?
I'll message Mike.
I can be
then.
at Lake at 5. 6. That's when the fishing starts, at around 3.
We need a motion on that to make sure it's official that we
So move.
got it down. Ron made it, someone second.
I'll second that. We post the position and we set a meeting for Thursday at 3:30 with Mike.
All right. Tom seconded, all in favor, say aye.
Once we,
Aye.
Mike,
Right after we meet.
After we meet.
Post it after
Yep,
we
yep,
meet.
okay.
Yep.
Aye.
That's just a workshop, isn't it? I mean, we're meeting with Mike. It's not really a council meeting.
it probably could be, but
But if you're gonna make a decision to post it, you might want to have it as a.
Yeah.
Could be making decisions
I
on.
want to make a decision that night, then you
Okay.
can't, you know?
Yep,
So we consider the meeting.
Yeah.
perfect. Okay.
Motion was made and carried. All right. Kendall Door,
So Steve from Kendall Doors came out and did measurements and sent us an estimate for the doors, those security doors. The solid core, and then this one was a Dutch door, I believe. Let me pull up the invoice here. Estimate.
That's what we're talking about anyway.
Yep,
That's the only bid you got?
that's the only one I got. I wanted you guys to see that first. And then I can send it out to the local people if you want, just to get a couple more.
Yeah,
Just,
yeah,
this is
better.
basically the scope of work that we're looking at, then I just wanted you guys to be aware. And I'll send it out to the local guys like you requested, so
I seen it, it was like what, around what?
I think it was around 8,000,
So that door there alone is $4,000 by itself.
you know.
Okay, yeah.
And those two are,
Yep, so the main door was 4331, or that would be for this entrance door, for a security door there. And then 8,254 for solid core, those two solid core, and then
Split?
a split door here.
Why do we need a different door there for? I mean, that's the
Wasn't there,
security.
is the frame shot on this?
The frame shot in this one, and then it's got that shutting issue.
are they a commercial door then? I take it?
Yep,
steel frames.
I guess I can see how it-
It seems pretty high though.
It does seem kind of high. that's all.
Yeah, I just, when I was searching, security door companies, I think they do like the hospital and stuff like that, so. But I'll get a couple more and just go from there. 'Cause,
Yeah,
yeah,
That door in the Taylor's about $1,000 for that door. You know,
But yeah, you could reach out to locals and see what,
yeah, I mean, even if they wanted to do it better.
that way at least you went through the process.
I'll get 3 more.
You get, like Winters, Burr.
Okay.
Stan Sninsky's, I suppose.
I don't think they're doing it anymore.
Oh.
No. And Garmin,
Okay,
anybody else that,
Ben Burr's right outside of town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anybody else in town, is there? That I can think of. That's Winters is the only, because I'm pretty sure Straczynski, I could find out, in fact, I
Okay.
gotta pay him for a lawnmower. Maybe I'll tell him more sooner than I think.
is there anywhere else, Vernon or Mapleton locally that we want to try that you know of?
There's gotta be another outfit in
You
Mankato.
can ask Calvin at the lumberyard if he's got anyone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can't think of anybody besides the ones we already mentioned.
There's a couple small guys in Mapleton, but because then Calvin have a chance to provide materials maybe.
Can these individuals get that quality of door on their own?
Yeah,
They
you get a steel frame solid core door, yeah.
And chances are it probably would come in less than that bid there that we had.
Yeah.
And there too, if a guy can, if you can get it from Vernon, they can bill us, and wasn't that still okay?
Well, that's
They could bill us for all the
The materials?
material, we don't pay taxes on it,
right.
and,
Yeah,
Should be, because we're.
I mean, you still get a
Bids.
bid, I mean, you gotta
Yeah.
get a couple bids with a couple different,
But that would be the way it would have to be specified when. you
Put in your
ask.
scope of work that city will pay for materials,
Right.
because if they have a markup, they'd have to add it to their labor then.
Yeah.
right, and it's gonna happen, I mean, you're gonna pay, but I mean, it just matter. Say if we give it to Calvin, he's a taxpayer too, so. And he's putting up more taxpayer money, he's putting up for the shed.
yeah, you might as well say that if you can, so.
Okay. I will send those out then tomorrow, or requests.
Small city or SMIF grant,
So I went over and got our literacy grant books that were donated. They donated over 200 books. The problem is I'm out of space to put them. So right now they're sitting in boxes. They did send 3 or 4 copies of each. So I was thinking possibly reaching out to Tracy Sternency's got a little library down there, and Protein has a little library down there. See if maybe they're interested in having them, or what are your thoughts? Daycare?
could the daycare take and make pretty good use of them?
I gave the daycare some for Halloween. So I think I should, if I could take another set or another 2, maybe, because I think they've got a couple classrooms.
Do you rotate them out?
I try to.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we don't even have space for many more bookshelves really,
And they're
so.
all kids' books, right?
Yep, they're kids' books, so it's early literacy, so I'd say up to 5th grade maybe. A lot of them have CDs included for like sing-alongs, so. But I think if we took a set or 2 and donated them to the church, maybe wouldn't be a bad idea, or the daycare.
I would sure think you could make, the daycare could make use of them.
What individuals, or who are the individuals that make use of this? I mean, is it kids? Is
Mhm.
it adults?
It's kids, so it's the like for our library, it's a lot of the kids, a lot of the homeschool kids. When I talked to the people over in Owatonna, when I picked them up, it was a lot of smaller libraries, but not as small as ours, so. It's kind of whatever. I mean, we could keep a copy for ourselves, donate 2 copies to the daycare, and then
I like that idea.
one as a backup, or,
I mean, can you throw away like a James Patterson or 2? I mean, if they're the ones that, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
There's a lot of books in there that
yeah,
maybe they aren't really being even looked at, or
Yeah.
never will be in here,
yeah.
you know?
Take out a couple rows and put them in the box, and if someone wants them, just
Yeah.
they're in a box in the back.
Right,
That's
right.
fine with me too, whatever you
Maybe
guys.
this, Blue County Library could tell us what they need over there and we could maybe pull some out.
We have them?
And the Blue Earth County Library dropped us because they said Good Thunder was basically being a dump for old books. So that's why they dropped Good Thunder as a library, and they don't take care of us anymore. It's because people were bringing books, but they were outdated books, so they didn't want to take care of us anymore.
You know, there's Tom Clancy Without Remorse. I mean, another one there too. I mean, if there's not adults here utilizing this, there's not a whole lot of sense in making more room for
Mhm.
more books when these are just gonna sit there and sit there and sit there.
That'd probably be the best idea. Take them off the shelf, put them in the box and put your other ones out. Here.
Yeah, and just make them, I mean, if somebody wants them, fine. If not, they go in the dumpster.
Okay. Whatever you guys want.
All right.
So last week, small city grant program, we talked about that in April. We talked about it again in May. Last week, I believe it was, one of the residents that was inquiring about funds came in and brought a paid invoice for windows. The quote was different than the quote that they gave me before and said it was paid. And it caused a big kerfuffle in here, and I was basically told to be quiet. I was making an issue, but now they have brought in a paid receipt for said windows. So what do you guys want to do? Do you want to pay that one out? Or do you not? And if you do pay that one out, there's the other people that submitted that didn't get 5,000 that you'll also have to pay out then. So there's 27.97.35 on that particular ones. And there's 31.88.96 on the other one. But Burkhart said unless we had a paid invoice, I could not reimburse. So now there is a paid invoice. It's just different than the one they said they submitted, so.
And is this individuals that were here before that had their names submitted?
Yes.
And is that about the time when we didn't have any money, what, 2 meetings ago?
Yep, and then there was actually money in there,
Now
yes.
there's money, so Tom, I know you made a comment one time quite a while ago that we'd have to make it solvent, that the individual filled out the whole process, but then we were out of money, so what's your thoughts now?
I'm just going back to that letter that Kennedy sent. And the comment that he made was that it's unclear if an application was ever done.
Completely.
And so there's something to that effect.
Mhm.
There was some comment like that that was almost like a fact of finding, or a finding of fact.
Do we have to have that individual refill out all 4 pages of that? Submit it to make it proper?
I think that's a good idea, Robert.
I mean, we missed some things there when we were doing that as a council and everybody, we missed some things there. So how do we make amends here to get this done and make it move on?
I guess I would be okay with that as long as it's run past somebody that knows what they're doing.
Were we gonna put MBAC or someone in charge of that
That's what I
stuff?
thought.
Yeah,
Take
But
us out.
this is.
They'll write the scope, they'll tell us it's time to pay a check.
So have you talked to them people at MVAC?
I talked to Jessica at the COG, and she said she had no problem fielding it, taking care of it. So they can do that. I just didn't know if you guys want to clear up this one before you say, okay, here, now you're in charge of all these.
Yeah, what I'm talking about this one,
Okay.
run it past somebody that knows what they're doing
Mhm.
for these 1 or 2, whatever we got to do here,
Mhm.
2, right?
And the total would be about $5,000, right?
Yeah, roughly.
To between the both.
Mhm.
The money is in the account. That isn't the issue. The issue is that later, something will get thrown in our faces again about
No,
it, you know,
yeah, we
so.
could clear it up that way, have her.
Well, and I think Kenny was saying too, the terms should be the same as it is with the MVC program. It's a 10-year forgivable print. So if someone moves in 9 years and 364 days, they owe the money back.
Yeah, that's how we got the money back.
We were granting it all out as a gift and we shouldn't have been doing that either.
So, you know, let's,
I mean, do we want them?
Well, it should, nobody ever should have been on the assumption it was a gift. It was a grant if they lived there 10 years.
Yeah, we didn't clarify that though.
Yeah.
We just kind of did a grant program with the money because we had it.
Yeah, we
And
did it if.
We were
you
told that
spent
we need to do
yeah.
it just like MVAC does it, where there's a lien process and all that goes on their house too.
Yeah,
with that money.
because that's how, when them individuals sold that, Ashley brought that to me and we signed it, and we got that money back. So that's all on the court records. And does MVAC put that on them court records then?
Yes.
Did you do it otherwise before? Or-
No, so they have everything and there's like the sheets here that you sign. When the title companies reach out to me, you sign them, I send them back to the title company and the title company deals with MVAC in the county.
Oh, okay.
So the only thing we really do is you sign the paper and I fax it into them.
well, like I said, I guess I'd be okay with having these individuals redo the paperwork. And then we turn it over to somebody at the COG or somebody like that, and they handle it. And if it's not right, it's not right. Then, I mean, then we know. If it is right, it is right. But hopefully, you know, it'll be right for good.
How long a process do you think this will take? You know, if the individual brought a receipt already, is this gonna take 6 weeks?
I'm sure it'll
2
take a
months?
month. I imagine it'll take a month. I don't
Yeah.
know, you know.
What are they gonna do with that receipt in the meanwhile, you know?
Well, we just have the receipt now.
Mhm.
I imagine they have a copy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yep, I just have a copy of
I
it.
mean, is the bill due in 15 days to whoever?
Well, they,
Is it paid?
it's,
Oh, okay.
this one's paid, yeah, this
Oh,
one's
okay.
paid, so they should have
All right,
paid it already unless,
well, then we're good. Just get the proper paperwork, let somebody look at it and make sure it's done correctly.
And that we can do this after it's filled out properly, you know, that it's all okay and proper and legal and all that. And everybody will feel good when it's done.
I remember the one, I don't remember who the second one was, but what was the problem with that one? Just no funds at the time?
yeah,
Well, the funds.
yep. It was my household. No issue because I don't vote. The house isn't in my name. It just, there wasn't enough funds, so I just took the remaining of what was left, even though I submitted well over the 5,000 in receipts. Just trying to do the right thing, help everybody out. I guess I should have just not. So,
So
but
that,
I probably most likely will not resubmit our papers because it's not worth it for me. I submitted everything correctly the first time and so I just, we've paid it, it's fine, it's well past the time, so. But I will get a hold of this person and give them their application packet or however you guys want to do it so they can get it. So they get it fairly or whatever. And then get it to Jessica and she can review it and give you guys the thumbs up or thumbs down.
so I mean, just there now, having them MVAC doing that would get you out of a conflict of interest, because how can you look at them and then pass them on when it's you? I mean, it's probably a very good idea we have.
How is it a conflict? I don't own that house. I don't have a conflict with them.
Well, somebody could come and say, you knew about this long before anybody, you know, and got applied for
Whether
it.
it's true or not, I mean, it's just.
You know.
Coming.
I don't vote on it though. That's why it was okay for me. And Kennedy told you guys, because I don't have a say anyways. So that's the only reason. If it would have been a conflict, I wouldn't have ever applied, but it was stated that it wasn't. So,
The thing is though,
but like I said, I'm not
This
gonna
is a
reapply
path.
for the remaining funds, so it's.
This is-
kind of
yeah, you backed out because there wasn't enough funds on, you yourself did, but now there is enough funds.
Mhm.
And this is a pathway to make that all possible for you now.
Mhm.
So there's really no reason why you shouldn't do it. I mean, not just out of vindictiveness, whatever, maybe you don't want to do it, but I mean, if you just want to go ahead and fill out the paperwork again, just like the other applicant, and it just goes the MVAC or the COG or whatever.
Yeah.
And if they vote that it's okay, they tell us it's okay, it's okay.
Yeah.
It takes you out of the,
Yeah,
that's what Robert is trying to say.
Yeah.
It takes you out of
Yeah.
the snare,
yeah.
and it takes us out too.
Well, and how,
We gotta figure out how to advertise this too, because before we
Really didn't advertise well.
and we were trying to be fair and give it to people. We needed projects out there, but we missed somebody and then,
So we need to advertise it in like the paper.
and
But that'll be the next round, not
Right.
this round.
Right, yeah,
The
correct.
next round, then we'll start off with. whatever.
yeah, because I think it was,
Yeah.
I think it was just posted on the city website and maybe the city Facebook and maybe in here, I'm not sure, but
Well, if we have the MVAC doing this,
Yeah.
they would give us leadership how to get this out to the public.
well, how did they do it like when it first started?
it goes out in the
10 years
messenger
ago or
and you
something.
just,
Word of mouth, but it went out in the messenger.
Yeah, are we talking like 5 years ago, or are we talking back in 97, when 6, when we did the lagoon and we had that Chuck Pettipiece, he started that originally, right? He had one of them where our medium income was so much and then people qualified. So that made a whole bunch of houses qualify because we were doing the lagoon and everything and the study was done, and that was Chuck Pettipiece, right?
Yeah, that was Petty Piece.
So I guess, let's get these two cleared up.
Yeah,
Have
let's see what
them,
we can do with these two and then go from there.
have them people say, hey, this is how to advertise it. This is how to get it out there. And do we leave it at a $5,000 total?
Well, how about we just not decide any of that until we make a new round,
Okay,
you know?
Because you only have so much money in one project, like MVC breaks it down on income and stuff like that. So say we had hundreds of thousands, they break it down, where one might get 20, one might get 30, one might get 5.
and they
Based it on exterior weatherization, all that stuff first. So if we want to do 5 small projects, then we limit it to that too.
well, that's the direction we need to go with that then. We have 2 resolutions here too that are not on the agenda that we need to.
Under new business on the back.
Perfect. Anything else then? I brought up the check from the Good Thunder Days Committee.
Mhm.
And that was given to the city and put in the bank, but I believe that should almost be received by resolution. And is the Good Thunder Days Committee shut down now, or?
Yep.
And the whole committee, the 5 or 6, 7 remaining.
the 2 officers voted on it.
Because there wasn't really an active committee. I mean, there were some people that worked for the 150th and a few volunteers, but the only 2 people that are on the sign account shut it down and donated the money.
But it's not really a donation. It's part of the city's funds. That's public money.
It is,
Yeah.
but they asked to be tagged for
Education or another event or
something like that. So it's in a line item in the account. Or
Or
right
is
now
it-
it's just sitting in. the
Yeah, right now it's sitting in essentially a trust to be determined what to do with in the future because they didn't want anything to do with it anymore.
Where is it?
It's a line item technically in the account. The check is in the bank.
Yeah.
In
but
our
where is
checkbook,
it?
it's.
Where is it in the accounting? It
Right.
wouldn't be in here yet, I get that, but
It might be line item in there. I'd have
It
to
was
look.
deposited May 11.
Yeah.
And
So
all the
it's,
Pepsi checks that will come in the future will get dumped into the same account.
so it's essentially just sitting in a trust until it's decided what to do with it. If the city wants
who
to,
has control of the trust?
currently the city does.
Well, how did this trust get set up when we didn't have any involvement?
It's not a,
It's just a line item.
it's a line item. It's not a trust. Use the verbiage that it's a trust. It's not actually a trust, but it's to be determined what to do with in the future. Because those people didn't want anything to do with it anymore. There's,
But don't you need a quorum in a committee like that, 3 people to shut that down? I mean, maybe 3 years from now or a year and a half from now, some young energetic people will come and you already had this committee established. Now they got to start all over. Wouldn't that have been other people, nobody was consulted at all? Just two members of that committee.
The two people that were control the checkbook were decided on it.
Wow.
But that money,
But all the money's here.
But
We
that's-
didn't steal any money.
That's not the issue. The issue is, we don't have a Pioneer Indian Days, a way to fund the Pioneer Indian Days anymore.
They just have to start it and call it something and you guys can fund it however you want. There's money, there's money going in.
You know.
We could just
People-
allocate that funds to the committee that starts if somebody starts up again.
Just like we started, there was like $650 in there. That's what we started with and we raised money and did a 10-year thing and
So you got the checkbook and all that.
I
when
don't
you
have a
started-
checkbook. I'm not
No.
part of it.
When you started it.
No, I did not.
So it was a checkbook. That's my point. Now there is not a checkbook, right?
There's not a checkbook anymore.
But there was when you started it.
I imagine there was a
So
checkbook.
that's my point, is that there's, all that would have to be started over. About, it's too late now, but I mean, you know.
Well, we haven't
all has to be
accepted that
started
money.
with that.
It doesn't matter. The committee is done. Through the state of Minnesota, it's gone. They can call up that again and start it all back up.
Well,
The
was-
signing officers have signed off and notarized and it's closed down with the state of Minnesota.
Were all the bank statements and all the minutes of the past meetings all given to the city too then?
No,
And why would that be?
it's a private organization.
Pardon?
Right, what?
It's a private organization. It's
It's not when you receive public funds. You received, that committee over the years received funds from the city of Good Thunder. When we were back having a parade or the carnivals, remember that? And we got around it by saying we were promoting our town. And I know we gave like $200 or $2,500 a couple times to that committee.
There's a different committee.
Who's still named the Good Thunder Days
You
Committee.
know, there was a Pioneer Indian Day Committee, and there was a Thunderfest Committee, and then there was a Good Thunder Days Committee. They've changed over the years. The last one, there was $650 in the account. It was given to them as seed money to start. And they started and they built and they got donations and they had the small town throwdown for 5 years or whatever it was.
Well, it's not a private account. And there's public money going in,
It was sanctioned by the city.
not a private account. You can't handle it like a private account, I don't think. That'd be like me saying that the fire department can just do whatever the heck they want. You know, it's not private. It's
Can I
a
say
public
something?
account.
You were a former member?
Of all of the committees, yes. All the way back to the 90s.
Okay.
So where'd the $650 come from?
I said it probably came from the city.
Straight city, it didn't come from one to the next, to the next.
No, I don't think it did. I think the Thunderfest dissolved and that money was sitting there when Cheryl was still here. And it went,
To whatever committee it was, the Good Thunder Days Committee.
Lola was in charge at the time. I wouldn't know.
And Ken signed off years ago. I've been on the committee for years.
Ken never signed off until May. He thought he'd signed off. You can say whatever you want.
You can go talk to Ken today.
Okay, and Lisa and Sarah, and if Kim was still here, we all sat right here when he signed off and says, I'm done, I want my name off of that.
But he
account."
never
was gonna
signed the
sign.
bank paper. You can,
Don't check me, go talk to Ken. He's got triple hernia today, so he couldn't be here to talk to you about it.
You were here too?
yeah,
Nobody asked me if I wanted to take it over.
Well, you're welcome
to
to.
now. I mean,
The money's at the cities, you can
come and say, I'd like to start a thing and the city can give you the money.
So with me being on the committee, I didn't know where all the funds went. How do I know the last thing that was out of that account was in August? Because I have messages from the whole group asking, can we spend this on this? Can we spend this on this? No one asked on the group about closing the account down. I've been here this whole time.
I guess it was just decided after people accused us of stealing and
Embezzling money that we just
close it.
Nobody
happened to
accused
be-
anybody
yeah.
of stealing money. We wanted to know the checks and balances, and I believe that's in the minutes of the past meeting.
It does say, it
Checks
says
and
checks and balances, but it was an accusation. Robert, I gave probably $10,000 to that thing. We don't steal a few dollars out of the fucking pop machine. Period.
Hmm.
Nobody ever said anything about stealing
You don't
money.
have to say anything. You.
Okay, put it this way. What would be the big deal then to turn over all the books to the city so they can go back here in the archives? Like the Good Thunder Pioneer Indian Days committees, when Lester Lentz was here in probably the early or the late sixties and early seventies, that's probably all in the archives. That's part of Good Thunder's history. Why couldn't this all be in the archives with the rest of it?
Yeah, yes, Ken, I'm not a voting member. There's two people that control the money.
So Lisa can give that information as well then.
I imagine.
And you were on it until you figured out, oh, it might be a conflict of interest, so I'm gonna step back here. So you were on it too.
Yeah, I was working. I was here with you all working all the time.
So with me on the meeting, then I should be able to have access to that information, right?
I
Because you
don't-
had to have my.
I don't know how all that works. You're gonna have to talk to, Ken knows more. He talked to attorneys about the whole thing.
But Lisa was in charge of the money. The money bucket went to your house after the celebrations and you and her counted it. There was never another member there that.
I don't know who
that
counted.
money.
I didn't count it, but yes, it was counted. It was deposited. All the bills were paid. All the money's there.
So then I should be able to see that.
Talk to Ken.
Well, Lisa's got it though, so why do I have to go to Ken?
Talk to Ken and Lisa. I don't know. He's like the president. She's like the secretary treasurer.
So that would be the girl I need to go to then.
All right, getting back to the funds. Was it on record that the fire department gave $1,000 towards a 100-year celebration? Did we accept that as a resolution? Does anybody remember?
I don't remember. It went to the painting portion of it though.
Yeah,
It went what?
There was a painting tent with wood and paint and all that.
it went to the events
Went
for
to the one,
kids.
yeah.
One vendor that had painting for kids.
Oh, so they just paid the vendor. I think that's all right. But you couldn't accept money because you didn't have a tax ID number, right, from them? Isn't there something about that? That,
The committee or
that committee, yeah.
I don't know how the money was processed.
Okay,
They made a donation. It went right to the vendor, I believe,
okay.
but I don't know for sure.
Well, like the sober cab one, they donated on $250 for a sober cab. So they gave it directly to sober cab, but if they didn't use it, then sober cab just went away and had it anyway, or how did that work?
I don't know.
They donated something, but it still costs something and I don't know what it costs.
We had to send him a check to pay for it. Some of it was donated. You donated to some, I believe the Thunder Bar donated to some, and we had to pay some of it as well. There's records of all of this. She's got records of everything, because we got notes at every meeting.
All right, well, getting back to the check at hand. Would you have problems putting that stuff all in the archives?
You'll have to talk to Ken and Lisa. I don't know the legalities of any of that stuff.
Okay. How do we accept or make a resolution now that when it's already here, it just stays in some account then and that account
Put it in
then?
a line item, and if someone wants to come forward and wants to put a celebration on, they can access that. The council will vote to give them the money. If you guys want some kind of accounting or control over it,
So there,
put that in your thing. I don't know.
there wasn't a line item anymore and it can just be re-added. It's not a huge deal. But there wasn't a Good Thunder Days committee, Pioneering Days committee line item anymore. So I you have to look what the exact account number is, but it's in there, it's sitting. If we want to ear tag it for future festivals, if someone wants to set it up, it can be done as that. It's just sitting there in, like I said, essentially what he called a trust, but it's not a trust.
So then this should be coming in here on the revenue side, right, from Pepsi?
Yep, so when it comes in, I think it come quarterly, I can highlight the line item when it comes in.
How long ago was it that Pepsi started paying 11%?
when the Coke machines left, because they were paying 1%. I don't know when that was, probably 3 years ago, and
So then we should have had a line item for the last 3 years.
they've never been in that account. They went into the Good Thunder Days account because it came to the city, but addressed to the Good Thunder Days account.
Which again was only counted by one person.
Whoa.
Check.
It's a check. It's not money.
It's a
You
check.
can't fake a check from Pepsi.
There
It
was
goes,
money a while ago because I filled the machine myself.
When we had the Coke machine, yes, there was money. You think we donate $10,000, we take $100 out of a pop machine? That's asinine, as people say.
Well, I'm just
Can I ask
curious
a
where the
question?
$10,000 was because I never saw that amount in the
What
account
10,000?
that you donated.
What I'm saying, at this last one, we bought the buttons, we bought bikes. We cleaned all kinds, we did all kind, I'm saying there's a value of stuff.
The cleaning you did on your own time. We
That's-
didn't
that's
ask you to
correct.
Do that, so you can't count that in your money that you spent.
I'm not counting, I'm just saying that I donated a bunch of things to the day. I also worked for 2 weeks here in the city, which was against the thing, but I still did it
We hung banners, we hung signs, we hung flags, we did all these things.
for the thing. And then
People say, oh, you probably stole a bunch of money.
No,
And all
That's
of us
ridiculous.
sat up here and donated a bunch of hours and time, but somebody got paid. Wasn't me, I donated my time.
Who got paid?
I
How
did
did they
because
get
it was
paid?
Friday and I worked and I was clocked in. I was doing city stuff, but I was also working the day of the event, which I have since
Yeah,
said.
she also told the council she'd pay them back 40 hours if they wanted, because
Cheryl even told us that she worked the entire time for every celebration for 30 years.
she
And like
was
I said-
working the city job and sitting here on her computer.
Computer, because I came in when you guys were working, and now you're saying, oh, she's stealing from the city?
Like I said, I would
Did
give
I
you,
say that? Did those words come out
No,
of my
but-
mouth?
You're
I said-
insinuating that she should have not been doing if without her and Lisa, there wouldn't have been a 150th celebration.
Period.
Trust me, we know.
well, anyway, we can drill on this all night. I think it was a very, very poor way of shutting down a Good Thunder Days committee without consulting other members. It was very poor that this money was put in the bank like instantly. It wasn't brought to the council and had a resolution to it. I
How
just,
can you ask me if we can pay money and donate money to the little city park cop thing? But yet you can't ask the members if anybody wants to take this over beforehand. We just gotta do a rush and we gotta make a trip to Mankato for one single check. But yet you can ask me if it's okay if we donate $200 to the cop shindig in the park?
You know, this is really just all unfortunate because a year ago,
You can take it over.
And do what you want with it.
what she
a year
would have.
ago,
I'm
we
just
were
saying,
talking about,
whatever she wants.
Sarah?
I'm sorry. People have talked to me and they said the celebration was great last year. We all worked together great. Everything was wonderful. And then stupid stuff started happening. And then all these accusations started getting thrown around. And this is why people don't want to donate their time in this city. This is why people don't want to volunteer in this city. Because people take things and run with them and say horrible things that never even happened. I've been on that committee several years, off and on with different people, and there's always something like this that happens. And it's just really too bad. I was on the committee. I could have cared less what was going on with the money because all I was trying to do was volunteer my time, make a celebration happen, and whatever. I understand why these people wanted to get rid of that money and give it to the city and wash their hands of it because they didn't want people accusing them anymore. And I'm just really sad about it because a year ago, we were all talking about what a great committee we had and how everybody got along and everything was great. And it's just too bad because it's stuff like this that makes people not want to volunteer.
Do you feel that this is part of Good Thunder's history? It's shut down. Do you feel that the books and the minutes should all come and be back here in the back room with the rest of it?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know where all the other stuff was. I didn't know it was there.
Oh, I'm
I mean-
We did, we went through it at the table. We were looking at all of my mom's notes, all the records, all the old pictures.
Oh yeah, I remember that now that you say that. I'm sorry, I forgot. I just didn't see money or receipts and stuff like that, I guess.
Yes, we did. We got notes from her with what money was spent on. She had the receipts. We all had a packet when we walked in and how the money was spent most of the
Okay.
time. Except for the big TV that was bought that wasn't approved through anybody.
Well, again, we can work on this all night long, but again, I guess I'll just stress that it was shut down poorly. You didn't invite all the members. Maybe other members would have just jumped at it, would have been on the shelf for a year or two. Then they would have revitalized it all. Saved people footwork of getting it all reorganized again. Would have saved, it takes time to do that, so.
Well, the next time, it won't be a private thing. It'll be a function of the city. It won't be a private.
Isn't it still, how can you call it private when the
I don't
city
know how.
bought the
make sure
insurance?
though.
It was sanctioned by
They
the
didn't buy
city.
insurance anymore.
Pardon?
The committee bought their own insurance. It wasn't legal after about 5 years ago. We had to start buying our own one-day insurance.
Well, whatever. We can't be putting public
true.
money in.
You're back to we though. You weren't on the committee and you said we. So were you on it or were you not?
I think I was present. You know, I was
Were you on the
working.
committee or not? Because you said we provided insurance. You said multiple times that you weren't part of it, but we keep saying we. So were you on it or were you not? If you were on it, then it's we. If you had nothing to do with it, it would be they.
Thank you.
Whatever, when you guys take over, start whatever, do whatever you want.
Yeah, all right.
You won't have to worry about us volunteering though, because the way you treat volunteers in this town, that's why people don't volunteer like.
That's why people aren't volunteering is because of some of you people.
Really?
Yes.
The people that give and give and give are ruining everything.
Especially this last year. Mommy wrote the clues, grandpa hid it, and the granddaughter found it. Oh, and then.
The granddaughter
Okay.
didn't find it.
We're gonna have to stop this.
And I didn't write the clues, somebody else did. The whole council wrote it.
I think we
Other
interrupted,
people voted on who won the crown, all this stuff.
I think we interrupted Tom.
Lyric found the medallion, just so you know. He shared it with Lydia because they're friends. It's ridiculous. The shit that goes on in this town, the stories that go around that aren't even true. People should ask people. But no, you just believe whatever you want to
Is
believe.
it any different than the Facebook cowards that get on there, and make accusations about the people and the council? Is that any different?
Am I on-
I had to throw that out there, but now
Am I on there? I try to stay out of all that stuff on Facebook.
we interrupted Tom. Tom had something. Were you finished, Tom? We're gonna end this now.
Well, I just wanted to say that when we do, and it'll start up again someday. It won't be a private thing. It won't, that term will never be said. It will be a public function of the city. That's what I always thought it was.
I know the Good Thunder Pioneer Indian, and I thought when Lola Geese ran it, she gave a report all the time. When Lola was involved, she was here all the time giving reports. So anyway, with that, well, how do we make a line item?
Well,
Do we accept that money?
since it was private, we have to have a resolution then that to accept it. It'd be no different than you donating money or me donating money, right? It's the same thing. Even though.
And I think Kennedy said that we need a resolution to
Yep,
accept it.
we could do a resolution on it and then you guys can decide what you want it earmarked as, or I can give you the line item that it is now.
Why don't you give us the line item it is now? See it, but I didn't really look.
Would it be under miscellaneous revenues or? Like a sale of assets, is that like crushed rock?
No, that'd be like selling fuel barrels.
Well, it says sale of asset $100 was in the year-to-date budget.
That'd be 4 buckets of rock, maybe.
Well, it was in the years-to-date budget.
It's in the general fund underneath amusement.
What is it?
Amusement. That's where Burkhart said to just have it for now.
Well, that's right.
Yeah, there is a line item in here. Just, it's not, it didn't hit this report though.
Yeah, I think it's. I think it'll be on the. It should be on this one.
I would have thought that,
All zeros.
right? This is May's and it was deposited in May. Oh, wait a minute. How much was it?
4,000
No.
something.
No.
$4,256.14. Did she say there has to be a resolution? That's what Burkhart said.
I think so.
I was wondering why there wasn't a resolution tonight then, so we could take care of business.
Yeah, it's in there. I don't know why it's not showing on the line item. I can draft a resolution for the next meeting. And if you guys want to keep it under amusements or you want to put it underneath something else.
Well, amusements is okay with me. It's just not in here. I just wanted
Yeah.
to see where it is, you know. We lose track of this kind of thing. And
One, and like I said, there used to be the Thunder Days line item. I don't remember if it was expense or revenue. So if we want it ear tagged as that, or however you guys want to do it, I just need to know and then it'll go there.
Well, it was talking about holding it in a trust. Is there something in here? It says something about,
It's the trust is like a metaphorical word. It's just there, so no one's touching it until it's decided what to do with it.
it's just a line item. But it's not,
Yeah.
there's no money in the line item
Yeah.
headed amusements.
yeah, and this was deposited in 5/11, so it's had a month to be deposited. And the May one here amount, which
I mean, that's the thing.
000.
The line item amusements is in there, but nothing's in the account.
Well, if it was put in there, Tom, it would be right here under 2020 year-to-date value, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I guess I didn't remember ever seeing the line item amusements before, so
I think Ashley said that Burkhart said to
that was,
make that, right?
that's new, okay. It's funny it wouldn't be in there then.
Would it make more sense, just put it on Pioneer Indian Days or whatever the last committee was called, and so everybody knows amusements could be,
Well, it's,
I don't have,
10 years from now, it could just mean nothing to anybody.
it's defunct though. It's nothing now, so.
Well, it would be with
You
that
can
though.
just take it celebration funds, you can take it whatever you want to take it.
State receipt for it when it went in, so I'm not sure why it's showing. I can get a hold of Burkhart tomorrow and find out, but that's that was deposited.
funny it's not in here.
This was a check from the committee or was it a cashier's check?
Cashier's check.
It was a cashier's check.
Yes, the bank issued it and check never left the bank. Bank issued it, bank deposited it right away. The bank issued the check, printed it out, issued it, kept the check. Deposited it right away. That check never left the bank account, the bank facility.
I think that causes another problem too, when it was a cashier's check now and not from that committee.
Well, I would imagine when you close the account, that's how the bank did it, I imagine.
Think so? You wouldn't write out one last check and
I would have, but that's,
Yeah, I would've.
when you go in and close the account out, well, I suppose that's what they do.
I think so there's a paper trail rather than write a last check out, let the bank write the check.
Well, at any rate, it's not, we'll have to be sure and make note of that, for next time we meet, that we make sure that that actually is gone in there. Because there are in the cash summary page, that top line don't line up, and maybe this is why. you know, Entries like this that didn't make it back in. If
what
you,
is the last four of our general account number? A general account.
500 or something like that. right?
Pardon?
Oh, you're talking about
The checking
checking
account.
account. Oh,
Yeah, I was just wondering because it was put in and in this ending of this
I don't know. Is that on there?
right there.
I can tell you what the ads like that.
1360. That's. Yeah.
Should be 1318. Those are the right 1318, so that's not the routing number.
That's in the general account.
Yep.
Yep, that's in the general account then. All right.
But why couldn't there have just been a last check out of that count? The Thunder celebration, it could have been wrote to the city of Good Thunder for 4,500 blah, 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 blah. And handed right over to the city. It didn't have to be a cashier's check. You could have done a straight check for what was in the account because there was a checking account and a savings account. And you could have just wrote the check straight to the city and they would have closed the account. I worked at a bank.
I would have thought that the two officers would have brought that in and donated it in person to the city, but I guess times are changing, so. We'll get a resolution for next month, draw it up. We'll see if it shows up on that line item and I guess the Good Thunder Days Committee is over.
And then the, as long as we're just talking about this here, maybe this is why if the general fund account in the cash balance summary doesn't add up when you go across it again, and it did a couple of times, but now it doesn't then again. And as long as we're on it, didn't we correct the sewer fund? Didn't we make the resolution already and transfer funds and all of that? We're still $128,000 behind.
We did a big resolution, but we're still behind. 2 months ago, we talked about that. We did like $180,000 resolution, but we still were not.
But I thought we did the second one.
I thought that was in the notes of the auditors when they gave
Yeah,
us that notes. I am not gonna even take a guess at how that was set in there.
well, let's get that resolution also for the next time we meet. So that we know what we're doing there too. Because I thought that we had that all cleaned up.
Well, because our sewer says that we have 12,000 in it.
But when you look in your cash balance summary, why the sewer fund is $128,000
Balance.
negative in the balance. So
Okay, I'll find out.
that, and there's no beginning on that. It's just like it's kind of mixed up again. There, it did for a couple of
Yeah.
meetings, it did line up. Everything was perfect.
Yeah, I'll check with Burkhart because I was talking to him today anyway, so I'll double check on this.
Sounds good.
Where did you see that on the expenditures?
On the cash balance summary,
Should be in your first packet of money, the cash balance. It's only got like 10 lines on it.
it's got just a few lines on it. It's not all a whole bunch of.
Oh, I bet I haven't.
It's just got like
All right.
8 accounts, you know.
Hmm.
And it's just a check and balance is all it is, you know, just to make sure that what we see on one form shows up on a different form and then it's all there, you know what I mean? That it
Right.
isn't lost.
All right. Anything else on the finances, Tom? All right. Down to resolutions, or that's on the back page, never mind. Community comment, anybody with community comment? If not, we can move on to unfinished business, pay equity compliance report.
Well, when I look at that, I think that we are compelled to do as they request. Or it's $100 a day, or the relinquishment of our LGA. It's the state we live.
It's good, yeah.
I mean, it's not, nothing, there isn't anything we can do about it.
No.
Unless somebody else has got a different, or better idea, or different idea, but when I read all the papers, there's not, there's no leeway. And you can request an extension and all that kind of stuff, but the first thing it says, rarely, rarely do you do this. So, you know,
Mhm.
So that compliance report, who files that, who?
she has to do it again, right? I didn't.
Yeah, so if you are going to take option 1 and correct the disadvantage, I'll submit to them that that was done. And then,
And you get a $5.35 raise per hour, yeah. For 25, whatever, 5, I don't know.
556.
I mean, I don't see any, there's no recourse.
Well, submit that form, get it moving on, and
I think we tabled that last time, so I think we have to make a motion this time and actually make that work.
you want to make that motion, Tom?
I suppose so, yes.
Someone a second?
Tom, how do you want to word that motion so that I don't, to correct the,
The option that you said.
okay, option 1. Option 1. And then resubmit the report
Pardon me?
and resubmit the report.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, perfect.
yeah, do it,
Okay.
you know, and make it all go away.
Fix it. Okay, make it all go away. I will.
Tom made that motion, someone second?
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
I-
Opposed, motion carried. Holiday aggregate report on Holiday, no,
Yes.
yeah, Holiday Street.
Looks like there's a bill there.
Yep, there's a lot of base there.
More or less saying it's doable.
Well, should we get a hold of them, have whoever gave us the best bid, get going, put it on their schedule?
It was a matter of the 2-inch overlay with them putting rock on the edges.
Yep.
Or the 4-inch and them not doing that. Which that would end up, we'd have to have somebody put the rock along the edge. And that one was damn near twice as much, I think.
That one he's talking about on Chaplain Park too, there's a little, it's thin there compared to the rest of it. He talked about maybe putting a little bit more
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah. That's all contractor, that ain't gonna be a big deal at all.
Well, I think if we put a 2-inch overlay on it now and get it shouldered, that would go quite a while.
I would
Yep,
think so. As long as I think they're gonna put the driveway approach in, on all the
Yeah.
driveways and stuff.
It would sure end a lot of potholes that we have right now.
And we have 2 bids,
Yeah, we had the one that wanted to put 4-inch on.
Yeah,
so I mean, we should be okay.
they aren't apples to apples. One, like you said, one was shouldered with 2-inch, one was 4-inch with no shoulder.
Yep.
But we have 2 bids.
Right.
So we chose the one 2-inch with shoulders. I mean, I would think that would hold up for a long, long time because that's all about,
It's holding up now.
yeah.
We don't see any breaks on it, no soft spots this spring. It's just a matter of getting that on there, and if you got the rock on the outside of it, that'll help turning in and out of driveways.
Who's gonna organize this or who's gonna get a hold of these individuals now? And then with our patching, are they the same ones that we're gonna do our patching, right?
That I'm not positive on. I didn't dig that out today. That's gotta be done too.
Well,
And hopefully it'd be the same time. It'd be nice.
yeah, well, Mariano's gonna be taking that curb out here this week sometime, so.
I would
get
guess you're a
done.
good month or better out on this. If you do it tonight.
Yeah.
I would think, because everybody's so damn busy.
Do you wanna talk to whoever and
I can,
they can go with it?
yeah.
All right,
Was it WW that had the better bid then?
No,
It wasn't the New Ulm people, was it?
it was New Ulm, I think.
Okay.
Yep.
Your questions.
And they're again, W and W, I mean, they were. You want to spend another 30,000-40,000, that's, and then spend another for the 4-inch,
Right.
and then there, and another, and I know there's issues, I mean, like the grade of, I forgot to ask the engineer that the other day, as far as the grade of how hot that stuff's gonna be when it gets here from New Ulm compared to from Mankato. You're talking an extra 20-30 minutes, which does make a difference. So,
if they haul it tomorrow, probably won't make much difference. Or another day this week. So, well, we'll put it in your hands, Ron.
okay,
All right,
So we need a motion, right?
Yeah.
We'll need a motion to hire what's the name of the outfit? You look at the bid?
I don't have with me.
Me either, and like,
what's the name of them, Lee? Well,
M&R,
M&R, there you go, paving.
M&R paving.
But again, were they the same ones that were gonna,
I'm not sure about the patch.
I think the other guys were gonna do the patching and mill that street out more. for less money.
WW was actually cheaper when you looked at the whole project, the overlay, the patching and all that. Cause his was more with his two pieces than WW's is all inclusive.
So how about this?
We need to look at it probably again.
We got numerous things going on. What would happen if we'd have another regular council meeting in 2 weeks?
Yeah, I think we should.
Okay.
We could look at this,
Yep.
come back, so we don't waste 30 days.
I think it's a good idea.
Okay, I'll get a hold of
You
you.
could look at those bids too, Ron. and
No, I'll get them out. I got them
It
out.
is WW. He could call and get on their schedule.
Yeah,
And in 2
I
weeks,
mean-
we'll just verify it,
I don't think we were, well, at least before the meeting, I wasn't given WWs, but this M&P asphalt, is that New Ulm?
M&P or M&R?
M&P asphalt maintenance. They sent us one that we're given for crack sealing.
Top of the page.
that's a different,
That's a different one?
yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, well then never.
Yeah, that's. Are we gonna do any crack sealing this summer?
We're not gonna seal coat, but I mean, you definitely
I
want
think
to
we
do if
should.
you're gonna seal
Right.
coat.
Crack sealing if we're not gonna seal coat.
Yeah.
All right. So,
Tom, you have a motion for Ron to get a hold of them?
but we don't know which one.
Oh, so just have a meeting and do it.
I'll get both of them out, and then in 2 weeks we can get to it.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm almost positive that WW looked higher, but then we added them up, they were actually cheaper.
And then, I mean, it's gonna cost somebody quite a bit to put the rock along the edge. The city's not set up for it unless you're gonna do it by
You'd
hand
have to have somebody do that.
Right.
and work.
Oh, are we thinking the 27th then? Just that'll be 2 weeks from now. Why is it?
2 weeks from tonight, that work for everybody? 7 o'clock, the 27th?
It should.
So we want to make a motion to have a regular council meeting on the 27th at 7 o'clock.
So move.
Second.
Second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I oppose. Sarah, did you say?
My phone was cutting out. Is that a Monday, the 27th?
Yeah, we're gonna have a meeting on the 27th, a regular council meeting to move along the blacktopping bids and patching and so we don't wait 30 days and waste a lot of time.
Sounds good.
All right.
I know we were talking about crack sealing too. Did we ever decide what was going on with that oil stuff for the gravel roads? Was that something that was happening too?
We talked about it. I know I never decided on that.
Nothing.
Now they all need to work again.
Yeah.
If I get,
So maybe in 2 weeks we can talk about it then. Just forget it for now.
All right, new business. We got resolutions 2022-5 fire relief donation. And resolution 2022-6 council as personnel committee. Any questions on that, or somebody want to make a motion to approve both resolutions?
so move,
Someone to second?
I think we gotta do them individually.
do it.
Yep.
individually.
Yeah, do.
Okay.
Somebody will throw that in our face.
Okay,
I'll do 2205.
someone to second that?
I'll second that motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay, now resolution 2022-006 as far as the personnel committee.
How to do it.
So move.
Second.
Ron made it, or Tom made it, Ron seconded, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed,
Aye.
motion carried. All right,
Robert, do you want to just sign these before I? At some point, or if you want to do it later, whatever's fine.
guess any other new business?
We got a little, I guess, or maybe it's, new. We got the wastewater permit that passed for our city.
I would guess it did. I mean, I'm not,
It did.
we didn't hear
There's no
nothing.
comments or anything. And the thing is, I want to remind everybody, we need to get an engineer involved now, because that was part of the deal. We chose that choice that they would give us another permit for X number of whatever time, I forget, 2 years or whatever it is. But by then, we have to have a solution to all of our problems.
Good luck on that one.
You know, so
Now, spring discharge that or not? Just moving water around.
Always got to drain one.
But I mean, I don't think he's done a discharge yet.
Oh, he might have.
Oh, yeah. No, I know, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't see it go.
Yeah.
I'm sure today we had tremendous
yeah.
numbers.
2.5 inches of rain. I think we had a little
I
infiltration.
couldn't believe it. You know, somehow we got
Your
it.
backyard flooded. I never looked.
No, it wasn't. I did. look.
Drains are working.
Yeah. they
Not
were.
behind our house.
Not, is that right?
No,
Okay.
nope.
Yeah, I never even looked back in them yards this morning. I was out driving through all them other holes.
How far did they come that time? They went on your property, Tom? Did they go to the property next, you know, in reality, that should go.
I thought they
farther.
went all the way back behind Pontus's.
Not
There's
that
a
I'm aware
huge
of.
pond between ours and Brian's
Okay.
when we got home.
Oh, really?
No,
And in the back.
I'd have to
right
look in,
where the
or they
fence is.
run another line in between there?
there's two lines and they went in my property, both lines.
Okay, both sides, okay.
The first year it was amazing, but our sump pump is non-stop and it's a pond.
Huh.
So it's like the one in the neighbor's yard just ain't doing what it did the first year.
Would we ever continue that line on to the west a little bit
Well,
to?
we could. I mean, if it's gonna be a problem with, you know, there's no sense in. Well, plus we're getting the water in the store into the sanitary too,
Hmm.
you know, in the long run. So we gotta solve that. You know, like that, there's still that tile that comes back in between yours and Deering's.
Oh, I know.
You know,
Yeah.
and
Goes somewhere.
yeah, and that's what. I don't, God, I have to look to it. It seems like maybe they did disconnect. Well, they couldn't because DeLeggy's basements still go into that, I'm pretty sure. Because their sewer will come back right down through there. Because my folks, we changed over and went out to the new one. But I don't think DeLeggy's did the whole thing because it would cost so much more. Then. So they might, I'd have to look at the
Maps.
maps.
So
Yeah.
getting back to Tom,
Give Mark a call and see if he can give us a bid, add whatever it takes, 100 or 150 feet or.
I'll have to look to see how far they did go.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
and if that drain back there behind your place isn't taking the water like it should, then maybe the kids threw something in there. We could look at that for one thing.
We thought maybe it was clogged because they tear up their yard.
That's what I mean. So maybe something got in there, and then if that's the case, we'd have to get whoever jetter in or somebody, but that's not good for the, we almost should dig that because you gotta run all that back behind your place in and, you know, and then plug it up again. Or go up by your place and go that way. That might work.
Well, if we do decide to extend that, we better get some easements and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff going then too. So that's all, because there's no easement in my property either, so.
Is there a storm going that way too? Up towards Roberts anywhere?
Well, there's
In the
just
street.
a-
In the street?
Yeah, yeah,
there's
yeah,
a
there's drains up there.
6-inch tile, I think is all it is on there that,
At least 6 or 8, yeah.
and I don't know, I'm pretty sure it was overtaxed today.
For a storm, you mean?
Yeah.
Storms? Yeah.
Yeah,
What they put in your yard, probably just a 4 though, didn't they?
Or did they
I've
put-
never seen it, I don't know.
you know, just that plastic tile.
Yeah,
Just a drain field,
Yeah.
Yeah,
really.
yeah.
Well, Tom, you were saying that we should get the engineer involved. Should we invite Jeff out on the 27th and get
Sure.
this ball rolling?
I think so.
Yep, because they're gonna have to come up with a plan. Are they gonna say we need to expand them? They're the ones that are gonna make all these decisions, right?
Absolutely.
And then at that time, would we tell them, you know, if there's ever a future of putting houses out there, we have to keep that in mind also?
Yeah, I want to get that all on the table with them so we can look forward a little bit.
Yeah, because right now we can fix it and we can't add much for households.
Maybe he'll have some different ideas too, as how we can find this I and I.
Yeah.
You know,
Uh,
but we'll need Brian's report that whatever paperwork that he got when we decided to get the permit like we did, the wastewater, whatever that report is, Jeff will have to see that
Mhm.
before the meeting.
Yeah,
I mean, otherwise he's gonna be here with, what, you know,
Mhm.
so we gotta make sure that happens.
and invite Jeff out, see if it would work for him on the 27th.
Okay,
And yeah. So, yeah, I mean, we got, was it 5 years it bought us, right?
I'm not sure. if
Or was it
that
3?
long Or not. I don't remember offhand. I wasn't, real thrilled with either decision, but it was better than. Might have been 5 years. Maybe the other decision was a shorter time or something, yeah. Maybe it says it in here too.
yeah.
Anybody else with new business?
should we, now, the council's the personnel committee, should we meet? We only got one, I mean, we got the city clerk to meet with, but should we meet and get started on it anyway? That we're all one unit?
And it says in their resolution that we'll do it before a regular council meeting.
So we could do that on the 27th also? Because it says we have to meet 4 times a year, right?
Yeah,
Or should, yeah?
At least. Sarah, you want any input on that? Do you want to meet, the whole council will be the personnel committee? Do you do an employee review at that time? That hasn't been done for a long time. What do we do?
Works for me if you want to do it a half an hour before the regular meeting, or you can't do it during the meeting, obviously.
No,
it says,
half hour is pretty short though. You guys never had time.
No, I know.
No,
I think you'd have
Oh,
to
I
do
know.
it at 6 o'clock,
at least 6, if not,
to,
or put the regular meeting at 7:30. Just, I mean, because we could sit here for 2 hours and talk about everything. Or 15
You don't want
minutes,
to do that.
but we want to start much earlier than 6, I don't think, or 5:30, because Tom ain't gonna be able to hit it
I think so.
necessarily.
I think we can figure out staying on track and getting it started at 6 o'clock.
Okay,
you want to make that a motion to have the personnel meeting on the 27th also before the regular council meeting?
Sure.
All right, someone to second that?
second.
All in favor?
aye,
Aye, opposed, motion carried.
I have to get a charger.
I can't see where this one here, just when it is over the permit, so.
Okay. Anything else then under new business? Postage?
Oh, yeah, I thought you went in the office. You got all those envelopes from the wherever?
Well,
Yeah. Did you check with the post office down here at all?
no,
You can get envelopes down there with stamps on. But you could use your own stamp as far as return address. And they're like 73 cents a piece.
Okay.
And the one thing is, somebody that worked at the post office said that post office is only going to stay open as long as it's making some money.
Okay.
And if we don't support it, it could go, I mean, a few years ago, it was ready to go.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was ready to go out of town. They were real close to locking the doors.
Okay.
I don't know how many years ago that was. I mean, like 10 maybe or something like that, or not that
Well,
long.
they closed a lot of them that round.
Yeah, and that's why we went to half days with somebody being in there and stuff like that. So if possible, that's
get them there.
what should happen. I mean, get everything local, you know. And I don't know how much ballpark that would be close to it, but
It doesn't matter. I think it's very.
no, I mean, even if it's
Small town.
$100 more, you'd go for it, I think, because just the idea that if you can keep that baby open,
Yeah.
I just do not have a post office box out there.
Works
My
for me.
wife definitely don't wanna,
Right.
she mows around it.
I don't know if you want to put this under miscellaneous or new business, but we had some stop signs put up. They lasted about 36 hours. Ron thought we talked about it over the past year or so. It sounded like maybe we didn't. There's another thing that people were putting up signs. Well, that still does not give anybody the right to steal stop signs. So anyway, you have to have a motion from the council to reissue those stop signs back up there again.
I believe Kennedy said it has to be done by resolution too. I think that's what he said, not just a motion, but like a resolution.
Oh, then we can get that resolution done for the 27th also then.
And there's been people wanting to know where them signs went.
Where were they? I didn't.
Right on-
Hill coming up Gina Liggy's
Yep, right on that corner.
on that corner, on Hallett,
Okay.
you know, because they were complaining, especially when there's ball games all the time. There could be cars, well, me and Jake were standing out there looking at the gas line and the power line. The kid went by us at 40 miles an hour.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like
Is it just one stop sign?
one,
Both ways.
both ways on Hallett.
Oh,
North
I
and south.
see.
And there's already one on the hill.
Got it. Okay.
So three-way stop. Yep.
Need to get three-way stop sign things on it then, like on.
I think I can.
Okay.
Yeah, but I can just call the county as far as getting signs.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
I happened to drive past
In fact, I'll probably get like maybe a half a dozen. Just there's some signs around here that don't belong up anymore.
yeah, so anyway, I'll
Have on
make a
hand.
motion that we do this.
Do we have to have motion or resolution?
Oh, that's right. You gotta have a resolution.
Resolution to put them up, but I think you can make a motion for Ron to contact the county to get signs.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'll make that a motion.
all right, someone second.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor, say aye.
I
Opposed, motion carried.
happened to be driving around the other day and there's a residence that's got grass that high.
Oh, yeah. Sarah, you guys went out, didn't you?
We did go.
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
Did any letters go out then?
This is the one getting high grass.
There was a couple for high grass. I can,
Why don't you give us a list?
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't want to mention the name because maybe it's mowed today. I don't know. I didn't drive grass there today.
There was a house for sale. We mowed it just to knock it down. So
When was that?
on Oak Street last week, I mowed one.
I think this one's for sale, but
There was another one.
No, there's different ones.
No
There's-
mow May.
there were different yards around.
She did mow right at June 1st or whatever.
Tom, do you know how cleanup days went at all? This,
I don't know.
Okay.
Other than I was down there for half an hour, I suppose, maybe. Seemed like it was going well.
Okay, yeah, I wasn't down there, so I didn't see anything.
I don't know if there was enough room in all the, how it all worked out. I don't know if people didn't get all their stuff gone or not. I don't know.
Okay,
There was quite a line.
I was out of the country.
But
I was in Lee Sewer County.
it's one of those things, it really goes against the grain of the whole state philosophy of waste disposal, but at the same time, what do people do with this stuff?
Otherwise you put it out of the ditch a lot of times. You do. I mean, some of that stuff you find in the ditch. Yep.
What do you
Yeah.
do?
Laying down the brush pile. Some iron, and
Yeah,
maybe people just don't know, but they do it, that's just, oh yeah, okay. Put on that too, let's get a sign for the brush dump, city residents only. And maybe that's all that's going down there, but two cars come out of there one day and they both headed to Mankato, and maybe that was their plan. That live here and dump the brush and then head to Mankato.
I've been down there quite a bit lately, and there's two cars down there quite a bit, and I think they're doing.
That could be maybe.
They're walking around the river and stuff like that. They're just.
And they
on the crew.
might fish back there. But
Maybe they do,
got
yeah.
business, but that's,
Do we know where Jake got the signs from the past? Was it Lake Crystal? Crystal Valley Crystal signage or something over there? Is that where he got them last time? That
I have
place?
no
Lake
idea.
Crystal? Okay, I'll look into it.
Sounds like you're on the right track, though. I just can't remember.
Yeah,
Got a question. Do the fuel barrels sell?
they have not sold yet. Nope. No interest at all, actually.
Zero interest?
Zero interest. And it was in the messenger for 2 weeks. It was on Craigslist. It was on the Facebook. It was on the website. Nothing. So I don't think we put an end date on it, so.
give me the money and you can have one tomorrow.
How about the Bill DeLee house? When we were gonna have moved.
Oh, yeah, yeah, never even,
Yeah.
was that put up for,
I reached out to Kennedy about listing it, and I think other things came up, and I think we still own it, so.
Yeah,
We moved
but
up, yeah,
so you can list it now.
yeah,
Yeah, let's get it listed. I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yep.
or however, put that on Craigslist. I don't know.
right. Yeah. Whatever.
I don't know. I
Put it
know.
all over.
getting ready for water meters at the gas station? Does the city still supply the first water meter? And then it's an inch coming in because we're gonna have 3 separate meters for the apartments. Does the city provide those 3 meters also?
I have no idea. I don't know.
I have no idea.
Because we're having a 1 inch come in and then it's gonna go through the softener and then it's gonna go to the apartments.
Wonder what we did at the apartments down here. I suppose
Well, that was like, wow.
Yeah.
is that 1 meter on those? That's not 8. It's one.
That must be 1
1
meter and it is,
The fourplex has got 4 of them.
they, utilities, that utility is included. So,
I have no idea.
it's one of our old meters though, so I would assume that we supplied it, but if anything happens, then that's why we charge for that second meter.
yeah, that's what I was
I
understanding.
suppose that big meter is expensive. If a guy supplied the big meter, but not the 3 small ones, would that be okay?
I guess.
I don't know. I'm just thinking.
So you need a 1 inch and then 3 smaller ones?
Yeah,
Okay.
3 little ones. The household ones,
Okay.
they 3/4 inch, believe so.
Probably,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think they're.
I mean, you could hook it up to half inch if you wanted, but I mean, it's 3/4 inch.
Does anybody know what the cost of them are?
It's got 12.
That's what I thought, because there was some at the shop there. And I did go in there today to make sure, because this morning when the water was there, it was up on the doors. So
Yeah.
I went in there to see if there was any water that went in. It never made it inside, but it was like so deep in the doors. So
Wow.
if anybody wants to know what I was doing in there, that's all I did.
They are 3/4 or 5/8 by 3/4. And they're $140 each is what we paid in August of last year.
All right, well, it'll be a little bit, but Struggling along.
Are those-
So,
Do you want those ordered, at least the 1 inch then? Because we should have the 3/4 inch still.
Right.
I think we need to get the 1 inch ordered then.
I talked to Brian Severns the other day down there Sunday about it. Does he have any capacity to place that order?
I have no idea.
I don't know.
I would almost,
You can just tell me and I can call them and order it.
Who did we get them from?
Dakota Supply Group is who we got the 3/4 inch ones from.
Well, then just get an inch one coming.
Do we need to make a motion saying that we're gonna supply the 1 inch one and then Robert's gonna purchase the next 3?
Or do you want to do the research and see what we did for like Maureen and George on the bank? I don't know what we did, so.
I have no
I
clue
don't know
either.
either.
I don't recall it being an issue because I think those meters were there. I mean,
I think so.
you
Yeah.
know, I'm just saying, just
Might have added
just so
one.
that down the line, 3 months from now, we don't be told that we did it wrong again. At least.
Yeah,
if it's
let's
on
find out.
motion, You know,
Yeah,
because you want to do it, you want to get it ordered and get it going, oh yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I'll make that a motion then.
Tom made that a motion. Someone the second.
Second,
All in favor, say aye.
I,
Abstain.
it-
Motion carried.
it's only just because you're mayor. If it
Right.
wasn't anybody else, I wouldn't worry about it.
And then Ron, do we have the 3/4 inch up there still? Is there some, do you know? Because I know we ordered 10 in August. I don't know how
I
many.
think
seed
there
orders
was-
we had
I would-
since then.
think
Before
there's,
Jake was done there, he was doing something with something and there was like 2 or 3 that I know of in there.
Okay, so should I order more of the 3/4 inch then, since
Well, are they all
there's people that,
capable of being read with our reader? Are these all,
yep, these ones that he ordered are compatible with our reader.
all right,
So
do we have to do an update on that reader pretty soon?
probably, but the Dakota Supply Group doesn't work with Itron anymore. So there's like a secondary party that we can buy a service warranty through, or we can replace all the meters and replace the whole system. So everything is a remote read. And it goes right away.
Had to do that because they had the same Itrons we did, and they did that same deal where they quit supporting the updates to the reader. So they had to replace all theirs 5 years after they just replaced them.
sounds like my oxygen machine.
We could ask that guy to come in and talk to us because I think Brian and Jake both talked to that guy about the software and the readers, and the new meters will read, and yes, I don't know the whole
But
detail.
yeah, well, these ones read with our meter currently. Our meter is still functioning currently. So we can get more research and worry about that later, I suppose, because
Well, that'll be the next thing, that reader, which we invest a lot of money upon and to make it job easy, that'll be outdated already. And I mean, we sure don't need to put on new meters again.
I sure as hell hope
I
not.
would hope not.
I would hope
No.
not.
That was a big pain.
That was a big buck.
They used to have a software update there every year. Remember, we paid to look for, and now that software, it's not there because they're not updating the software.
But you can get it from another,
I'm not.
there's there's like a third party you can go through, but I think they're in Missouri or Kansas or somewhere. So I'll have to get more information on that
you
one.
might want to check that out and keep on top of that.
Yep.
So in case ours would take
Yeah.
I take a break, we got something to rely back on to.
Those newest meters, the smaller ones are compatible for whatever reason, you know. Because the old ones are the blue ones, the bigger ones, these ones are a lot smaller.
As long as we're talking about meters, does anybody remember what the deal is with garden meters, what it takes to get one, and does it cost to get one? And
You'd have to buy a meter, I guess, and then
Just buy
maybe a reader, just like these are.
We used to have old meters, but then we checked for them 2 years ago and there was no old meters. 'cause people
so you just have to buy a meter and
Yep.
you can have a garden meter.
You gotta buy a meter and then make sure, and water is read through the one in your basement, that you deduct just the water on the one on the garden and no sewer charge, you know, you're just paying water on that
Right,
outside.
Right.
Well, you got a garden now?
Well, I do, but
I know.
somebody else did ask me that question. I really couldn't
I
remember.
thought you were gonna have to start watering.
We've sold a meter so they can hook it up and then you just take that reading and take it, subtract it from the main one.
So it's an automatic read too?
Yeah.
It is. So, okay.
There's no old, like I say, if there's old ones up, this guy could use.
Easy, it's easy peasy here at City Hall then.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just a matter of putting the numbers in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and the manual adjustment, taking off whatever 200 cubic feet off of A because of B. And
Right.
All right, so anything else then under miscellaneous? For meeting, we're gonna have Jeff out here, Dominus, a personnel meeting that night. Anybody think of anything else? If not, I mean, Corey, you missed the council, or the,
Okay, I've never been to one of these, so I didn't know. That's fine. I can do it another time.
all right, thank you. All right, somebody make a motion to adjourn.
So move.
You're always on top of that one. Someone second,
I'll second the motion.
all in favor, say aye.
They wait for me otherwise.
Carried. Thanks, everybody.
You spend 5 minutes sitting here looking at me if I didn't make the motion.
There's only been one or two times where you haven't made the motion.
Have a good night, guys.
Everybody was slow.
There it is, there.
What was that?
Look out for mosquitoes.
Oh, you have no idea. I've never experienced anything like it in my life. Day, night, doesn't matter. Sunshine, wind, they're horrible. We're making the best of it
No
though.
mosquitoes out yet. I think I got.
Enjoy, Sarah.
I was looking
We're up in
in
March and they're huge.
last month, quill thing.
Any at the lake. After this rain now, man.
I thought it was like